Senior.
Thank you, Brother Pastor. We're glad to be here. The Lord has been good to us. And He's shown His goodness throughout the day. We're dealing with Black Lives Matter. And I encourage you to get a copy of the book, Positive from the Black Corner, that I've written just for the sake of showing how Black Lives matter and have mattered to God of our salvation. I think that we spend a lot of time declaring Black Lives Matter.
Yes, yes.
And it's a real challenge that we would have a sense of what that means.
Tell us.
Because it doesn't mean everything to everybody.
All right.
And so from a biblical perspective, Black lives have mattered from the very beginning. I ask that you would turn with me to Genesis, the 6th and 7th chapters. Genesis 6, I'd like to read verses 5 through 13, Genesis 7 and 1, and 2 Peter, 2nd chapter, verses 4 and 5. Genesis chapter 6, verses 5 through 13. Genesis 7, verse 1. And 2 Peter 2, verses 4 and 5. I'll just read from the 6th chapter for now. Beginning with verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thought of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping things and fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and a perfect man in his generation. And Noah walked with God. Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God took upon the earth, looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For the flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. The 7th chapter and the very first verse. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all they house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation.
All right. Let's see.
That comes from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
The book of Genesis, which we all are familiar.
Right.
And it's very apparent that man had lived a long time upon the earth.
All right.
Adam and Eve made for the first man and woman.
All right. All right.
But their lives were corrupt, and their descendants did evil before God.
You're right. You're right.
And God decided that he would destroy the earth
Yes. Yes.
and man.
All right.
There once was the great flood.
Yeah. Great. Yes.
You know about it.
Yeah.
Where God destroyed mankind.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody but Noah and his family.
Right.
I think we ought to realize that Noah and his family made for the second Genesis,
All right.
the second beginning. And of course, you know, two of every living creature was saved. We're talking about Noah and his ark.
Yeah.
But I thought that while we are considering Black Lives Matter, that we would look at the second Genesis.
All right, let's see.
For God destroyed in the first Genesis all that he had created.
You're right.
And you don't find a lot written about the first Genesis.
You're right.
Though we know about Adam and Eve and their children. But a day came when the sons and daughters of the first man and woman came before God, and God classified them as evil, sinners.
All right.
And God decided to start over again.
Yeah.
And it was Noah and his sons, of which we introduced
Right.
you to a couple of Sundays ago.
Yes.
Shem, Japheth, and Ham.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll make reference to them quite a bit
All right.
through this series. But I borrowed from Kane Hope Felder's book, Troubling Biblical Waters,
All right.
a quote that serves as an introduction to this study.
All right.
He said, "Today popular Christianity too easily assumes that modern ideal about race are traceable to the Bible, or that there's not a significant black presence in the Bible.
All right.
Centuries of European and Euro-American scholarship, along with a Save the Heathen blacks
All right.
missionary approach to Africa, have created the impression that there were no blacks
All right. All right.
in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
But I beg to differ, and we should look at the passage that serves as our text
All right. Let's see.
as proof positive
All right.
that there were blacks in the beginning,
All right. Let's see.
as there are blacks now, and will be blacks in the days to come,
Yes, sir.
because black men mattered
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
with God. We look at Noah, and the Bible says that he was a man who walked with God. And might I say, the black man
Yeah. Yeah. Say it. Say it.
heard much about his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right. Right.
But today we look at his father,
Okay.
at their father.
Right.
Most biblical scholars will credit Noah as being the father of Ham.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ham being the father of the black race.
All right. All right.
But I ask you for some other considerations as well. Look at our text. And as Noah is the father of Ham, and as I said before, most scholars and those of the scientific community declared emphatically that Ham, son of Noah, was a black man. That same community declares emphatically that conceptions occur by the male seed fertilizing the female seed.
All right. Teach.
In essence, the father's blood runs through the veins of his children.
Yes, sir. Right.
Today, proof of fatherhood is established, as we said a few Sundays ago, with proof positive up to 99% certainty
You're right. You're right.
who the child's father is.
You're right about it. Yes.
If Ham was a black man,
Yeah. Yeah.
then Noah
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
was definitely black.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And the Bible says he was perfect in his generation. And he walked with God.
That's what the Bible says.
And let me just say, first of all, that Noah had to be a black man.
All right. All right.
And I could say more because Noah's daddy had to be black.
Yeah, call the roll, brother. Call the roll.
And if you keep tracing that
Right.
line of logic,
Yes.
you go all the way back to Adam.
You're right. You're right.
Adam had to be a black man.
Uh-huh.
What's obvious is that when God got ready to start over, he took what was there what was there? That was Noah
Yeah.
and his sons.
Right. Right. Right.
And he proceeded with those men
Yes.
to create a race of people who would populate the then known world.
All right. All right.
And y'all know the story. Noah's being a just man and perfect man, walking with the Lord, became the means that God saved the human race. I'll come back to that truth before I'm through with this series. But we read throughout scriptures of heathen nations, Egyptians, Babylonians, Canaanites, and so forth. But listen, if Noah was religious, and we know that he was, Second Peter 2 and 5 says, Noah, a preacher of righteousness.
Yeah. Preaching the right. All right.
Then Noah's children were also religious.
You're right. You're right.
Their descendants may have become heathens
Yeah.
and become heathens by choice,
All right.
but they once worshiped the one true God.
You're right. You're right.
We kind of get the idea that Israel had a mission. Their mission was to bring heathen men back to God. Israel's mission was to win heathen nations to the godly cause and the godly way.
All right.
The message is clear to me that the church has a mission in the world today.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Our pastor has emphasized it over and over. we have reason to be.
All right.
We as a church.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ours is to win men
Yeah.
to the godly cause.
You're right. You're right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not new.
No.
It's not our mission by ourselves.
You're right. You're right, brother.
We have to labor at it.
Yeah. All right.
That if Noah is black and Shem and Japheth are also black,
All right.
because the father's blood
That's right.
flows to the child's vein.
All right. All right.
And we'll have to do another study as to where the white man comes from.
Oh, no. Yes.
And we do have a chapter
You're right.
in the book entitled Where the White Man Comes From. We may deal with that Sunday, I don't know. But all men were black
Yeah. All right.
in the beginning. Something happened. It had to. Back in the snowy days.
All right.
But Shem and Japheth and Ham are sons of the same father.
You're right. You're right.
Maybe I should throw it in that this truth alone establishes credence for men of all races to be brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You do know that America is a land that's predominantly a white land.
Oh, Lord.
Predominantly.
Well.
But America is not the whole of the earth.
Right. You're right.
2/3 of the world is black.
Wow.
But when we were brought to this land, we came to a land that was predominantly white. Do y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
And so the efforts were made throughout history in America that we would be taught American history.
Oh, American history, not world history.
That our schools and most of the instruction given to us would be from a predominantly white
Hold on.
community.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can tell you that during those days when slavery was real, that we didn't have a choice about our literature.
You're right. You're right.
Didn't have a choice about our history. We took what the white man told us. And they pushed the dominancy of the white race.
All right.
But if we go back to the second Genesis,
All right. All right.
to Noah and his sons, you go back to black men.
All right.
And it behooves us
It behooves us, brother.
to study our history
You're right. You're right.
from Noah
Yeah.
Noah was a black man.
All right.
This book, Positive from the Black Corner, was written in order that we might know
Yeah.
what's happened to us.
Yes. Yeah.
To declare black men mattered and matters. Who didn't know it? Apparently, somebody didn't know it,
Right, brother. Somebody did. Yes, sir. Yeah.
but they cannot know it, at least know it while enslavement is
Yes.
the name of the game.
All right. All right.
And if you think about it, really think about it, if we're going to make for harmony and racial harmony, we've got to accept the truth.
You're right. You're right.
That may be half of the game, but it's certainly a part of the game.
All right. All right.
It's fundamental to racial harmony, the doing away with the horrors of race and racial discrimination and hatred, to realize that the first man was black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Noah was black. All men stem from Noah's seed were our kin.
Yeah.
And when I say our, I mean ours.
Yeah.
The white man, the black man, the red man, the yellow man.
All the road, brother.
We're all kin.
Yeah.
Some have a darker hue and others have a lighter hue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show me a white man. There are some lighter hues.
Right.
The black woman has that gene pool. She can give birth to many hues.
You're right. You're right.
But know for sure, Noah was a black man.
All right. All right. All right.
Secondly, consider with me that Noah was monotheistic.
Yes, sir.
Mono meaning one. Theistic meaning God.
Yes, sir.
He believed in one God.
Yes, sir.
The text says in verse 9, Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. The black man matters because from day one, we were monotheistic.
Right. Yes, sir.
You can't just declare it.
Right.
History shows that we were believers in one God. And by way of the one God, a second chance at the human race was given.
All right.
He was the means that God saved the human race.
All right.
I said a while ago that We read throughout scriptures the heathen nations, Egyptian, Babylonians, Canaanites, were heathen nations. But 2 Peter makes known that Noah was a preacher of righteousness.
All right.
And I've said that the descendants of Noah became heathens by choice. But they once worshiped the one true God.
All right.
The message is clear to me. That the church has a mission. And no matter how low men sink in their sin or live in their lostness, they can be saved.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Black and white.
Yeah.
They are worth saving.
Right.
For they are in reality our brothers.
Yes, sir.
Monotheism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why should we save or work at saving our white brothers?
Why? Why?
Because they were monotheistic at one point.
Yeah, you're right.
They are worth saving.
All right. All right.
And not only must we work at saving them, we'll have to labor at saving our own race as
Right.
well.
You're right. You're right about it, brother.
To say they are worth saving, that spells it out. There's something wrong when a people is taught against itself.
Wow. Wow.
We have it in this nation. We were taught to be negative.
You're right.
Well, they not only are black men, and that there's kinship between white, because there are no white people.
Wow. They all good.
They're of a lighter hue,
Yeah. Yeah.
can y'all chew on that?
Yes. We're chewing, brother. We're chewing. Chewing.
But then, thirdly,
All right.
not only was Noah monotheistic, but Noah is credited with saving the human race.
All right.
God was very disturbed because all men
All
will have to say that black men, since everybody
men. Yes, since they were black.
are black, the first sinner
Oh, Jesus.
was black.
Oh, Lord.
The whole of Scripture, which serves as our text, is all about Noah and the flood.
Yeah, yeah.
He said all men
All men.
were corrupt. God decided, I'll start over. Noah appeared in a day when the world was sunken in iniquity.
Wow, wow.
God saw the wickedness of man and that it was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thought of his heart was evil continually. The hearts of men were poison and corrupt. You see, violence always accompanies moral corruption and spiritual decline. The crimes of violence which trouble our times and gives criminal record beyond that of any nation on the face of the earth, undoubtedly have a definite connection to lack of faith by choice,
Wow.
to forgetting God
Yeah.
by choice.
My choice. Yes, sir.
And we can expect it to get worse before it gets better.
Right. You're right. You're right.
That's why it's urgent that we get Jesus to our black and white brothers. In the midst of this universal wickedness, God found one man
One man.
of all men.
Yeah.
Verse 8 says, Noah found grace
Right.
with God.
Right.
God used Noah to save the human race.
Oh, yeah.
And God always uses the black man
Always.
to save the nation.
Reverend.
Even though there's a strong ebb tide carrying men away from the fundamental principles of righteousness, what's obvious with Noah and must become obvious with us is that Noah registers his protest against wickedness through a godly life,
All right.
godly home.
Yeah.
We ought not get so strung up on this thing of witnessing or not witnessing. We ought to be witnesses
You're right. You're right.
from the very beginning in every way.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a deliberate effort to win men
Yes, sir.
to the righteous way.
You're right. You're right.
God used Noah to save the human race. And he'll use us,
Yeah.
black men, because they matter,
Right. Right.
or because we matter,
Yes.
to save the human race.
Yeah.
Move them back to the principles of righteousness.
Right. Right. Right.
If our nation is to be saved, it'll be saved through black Christian men, through the black Christian family,
Yeah.
to the black Christian home,
Uh-huh.
for they are the real foundation of life.
Right.
And we must see all men as black.
Oh, yeah.
Like Noah, our race is pivotal to the saving of mankind.
All right.
To follow in the footsteps of Noah, we must follow faithfully the directions given to us by God.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Noah didn't vary one iota from God's instructions.
All right. All right.
And we must attend ourselves to every detail of the word.
You're right. You're right.
There were those who ridiculed, but Noah didn't let their ridiculing
No, stop.
of him stop him.
You're right. You're right.
People will dare to ridicule us.
Yes, sir.
Some will make light of our tasks. But like our black brother Noah,
Watch your tone, brother. Watch your tone.
we must obey the Lord at all costs.
Yes, sir.
The hymn writer said it most poignantly:
All right.
when we walk with the Lord
Uh-huh.
in the light of his word, what a glory he sheds on the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As we do his good will, he'll abide with us still and with all who will trust and obey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Trust
Trust.
and obey, for there's no other way
Reverend.
to be happy
Yes.
with Jesus than to trust and obey.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Noah was a type of Christ in that he saved the human race.
Yeah. Type of Christ.
Just like Jesus, the Christ, who saved damned men.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
we too must reach out for our brothers.
Yeah.
We must reach out for our sisters.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the only way to save this world.
All right, all right.
Spend some time reading about Noah
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Shem and Japheth, Ham,
Yeah.
because that's where it all began.
Yeah.